Hi, I'm Cameron Meredith with ADU West Coast. I'm here with Rogelio. He's going to talk about ADU financing today. We're going to go through some of the four main options of what people do when they build ADUs. And why don't I start off? And Rogelio, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and kind of what brought you into focusing on financing with ADUs?
Absolutely. So first off, Cameron, thank you very much for having me here. Like Cameron mentioned, my name is Rogelio Martinez, and I'm with Welcome. Instead of spelling it with a W, we spell it with a double V. And I've been a mortgage loan originator for the past 10 years. And about less than 2 years ago, I discovered this acronym that I had no clue what it meant. So the person that posted actually on Instagram, I reached out to her. She's an independent broker with Acme. And I said, hey, you just posted this on IG. I don't know you. You don't know me, but can you just please tell me what this is? And she explained it to me. And instantly I said, whoa. I told my wife, babe, we're retooling our business and we're just going to exclusively be financing ADUs. And she said, what's an ADU? And I said, that's the same question I had. And yeah, so we've been doing that ever since. It looks like we're ahead of the wave that now is amongst us. And so yeah, so that's a little bit about me. And yeah, love talking about ADUs and love talking about how to finance them.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll go through the top four. So for each one, I'll just have you kind of go through the requirements, and you can tell us to move on to the next one. But the first one that we see is going to be the cash out refinance. So why don't you talk a little bit about that program and what that entails?
Absolutely. So typically, what I want you to think about is that most of the loans are going to require a refinance of some sort. And the reason why most of them will is because it reduces the risk to the bank, and it actually is going to get you the best interest rates. So it's literally a win-win for both parties. So I just want to let you know, I want to preface that in most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases, there's going to be a type of refinance. The cash out refinance is one of two types. So there's the cash out rate and term, means that you're just going to be adjusting your interest rate and maybe adjusting the term, but you're not getting any cash back. In this case, you're getting cash back, which is why it's called a cash out refinance. And there's a little bit of an overlay. And what that means is that there's a little bit more of a cost, and that's because the bank is loaning you a little bit more money than what you actually need. But the reason why you need that more money is because you need the money to be able to finance the ADU. So it is definitely the path of least resistance. It is the most frictionless loan option out there.
Got it. And then the next one, home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC. Do you want to kind of touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So typically, a home equity line of credit is a second position mortgage. So the way that I finance ADUs is typically the maximum loan to value is 80%. It can go higher on the first mortgage, but the reason I like to keep it at no more than 80, and the reason why my ADU homeowners do not want to go above 80 is because they don't want to incur mortgage insurance. So definitely it'll be a first position 80% loan, and then it'll be coupled with a 10% second position home equity line of credit. Therefore, it's giving you now a CLTV, or a combined loan to value, of 90%. And that actually, believe it or not, even though you're at 90, you're above 80, there's no mortgage insurance, which is really, really neat.
Nice. And for most the homes or the project costs here in California, anywhere from 85 to 100 for your average ADU. A lot of people would qualify for something like that, correct?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. The typical amount of, typically the amount of equity, and this is an average, per household, per home, is about 174,000.
Got it.
That's the average.
So that's plenty for a garage conversion. Plenty.
Plenty.
Cool. So the next one would be your home renovation type of loan or loans. Do you want to kind of touch on that and more details regarding those loans?
Absolutely. So there's actually four main types of renovation loans. Of those four main types, then it definitely branches out into subsets. But what I want you to really think about is when I mentioned earlier that most of these loans are going to be a form of a refinance, a renovation loan is a type of refinance loan. It's going to give you you're going to refinance your existing first position mortgage, plus you're going to get that extra monies out to build the ADU. Now, where that's different with a cash out refinance is because the cash out, literally the keyword is cash. You're getting cash directly to you. In a renovation loan, you the homeowner that's going to build this ADU, you actually do not get to touch the money. And that's the big differentiator. So the four main types is the VA renovation loan, the government insured FHA 203K, the Fannie Mae home style, and then the Freddie Mac choice renovation loan. And yeah, definitely there's more to talk about of that, but I'd like to keep it high level.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. And if people want more questions, they can always call and ask us. So no worries. And then obviously pretty self-explanatory, cash, a lot of people do have cash that they pay for these things. But I did want to ask you, out of these four, what are you seeing the most common? I mean, I know everybody has their own situation and every situation is different, but from your perspective, what are you seeing at this moment, end of summer, August 2020, best year ever? What are you seeing people doing at this time?
It's definitely the number one is the cash out refinance. And the reason why is because think about it. It's like that perfect storm, the perfect confluence of two things coming together. As rates are decreasing, people are already thinking about refinancing their mortgages to begin with.
Mhm.
Once I start having a conversation with a potential borrower that is thinking about refinancing, I start asking them like, hey, by the way, like, do you even know what an ADU is? Is that something that you'd be willing to consider since we're already having the refinance discussion?
Mhm.
And then, most of the time, actually, people actually start to consider, you know what, actually, I think I would like to I'd like to now, instead of doing a refinance rate and term, I want to do the cash out refinance to also build me that ADU, the all-in-one loan.
Yeah, well, it's smart because I mean, obviously, again, every situation is different, but just coming from a rental perspective, let's say you can convert a garage, and on minimum, on average, let's say Orange County, LA, it's renting for $1,500 dollars a month. I mean, I can't imagine your payments being put up that much. So, pretty much most of the time, we're seeing people cash flow with these ADUs. I mean, what is like an average payment? Let's say if it was an $85,000 cash out or whatever, on average, what type of payment are we looking at there?
That's probably, and you know what, don't quote me because I actually like to use tools,
For sure.
to calculate that. But on average, that's probably a $400 to $500 increase in
Got it.
payment.
Got
Yeah,
it. So it makes
it's very minimal.
exactly. So, and that's what I always try to tell people is, it may seem like, yeah, nobody has 80, a lot of people don't have 85,000 or 100,000 to build an ADU, but when you look at different options of financing, it makes a lot of sense and you can still cash flow. So, I do want to thank you for coming out and talking about that today. Obviously, if we want to get more detail, I think down the road, maybe we can touch on some of those subtopics that we talked about today, which we'll do. But again, I appreciate you coming on. And again, if anybody has any more questions or information, just let us know, and we'd be more than happy to share. Thanks, Rogelio.
Thank you, Cameron. Have a great day.
You too.